What's up, everybody? This is the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Let's get into today. Today, Donald Trump had the, I guess, I'll say the gall. We'll stay from cussing just for a second. He had the gall to say, I'm the president. I can do whatever I want to do. So we know this dude's trying his best to be a dictator. He's telling everybody he can do whatever he wants to do. Nobody can mess with him. I get it. Sound like a mob boss more than a president, but regardless, he's claiming that he is good for crime. He's talking about, the young lady he's trying to get out of office that's dealing with the financial aspect of our country. This lady didn't do anything wrong. Everybody he's trying to get out, he's calling them fraudsters. This is the head fraudster in chief. And he's talking about other people being a fraudster. What's up, B-Money? So he's trying to get her out of office. He can't fire her because, again, she has to be fired for cause. They have no cause. They have no charges. They're just making these random allegations, which they made them on Adam Schiff. They made them on Letitia James. They're going to make it on everybody they don't like. They're going through their personal records, which, by the way, is not really legal because they're not public documents. How they're figuring this out, I don't know. They're going behind the scenes to look at people's documentation that isn't legal. And yet, though, they're telling somebody, you're breaking the law, while I break the law and find out what your documents look like. There's no reason for them to be in her documents whatsoever. This is not something that she has to disclose to anyone. But somehow they're going behind the back, breaking the laws, looking at her financial records. As far as if she gave you her taxes, which I'm sure they do often, but that isn't where they're getting it from. The guy who's in charge of I guess you could say real estate type of situation where they're looking at people's mortgages, he's doing an investigation on Donald Trump's I don't guess you would say enemies. He's doing whomever he wants to fire. Look at their records. That's highly illegal. That's tantamount of what the previous president and Nixon did and got kicked out of office for. Looking at people's stuff, listening in on them, tapping people's phones. This is tantamount to that. You're going into people's public records. You're going into their public homes and planting information, or at least trying to extract information that would not be available to you or anybody else. But you're somehow getting people's records and making allegations and no proof just yet. No charges, just saying it. And it's amazing how Donald Trump got charged with being a fraudster. Now he cares about fraud. The biggest fraudster to the tune of $500 billion is what they were going to try and make him charge. 500 billion is the 500 million, something of that nature, that they're trying to get him to actually pay, that he just got relieved from. He's still a criminal. He didn't get exonerated for being a criminal. They're just not asking him to pay the money back. Where's that shit come from? You owe this money back, but you don't have to pay it. But you're still a criminal. It just shocks me how this country continues to bend over and let Donald Trump stick it to him. I don't get it. I really don't. This man owes the state of New York 500 million or whatever it is. And it's it's a wash. Let you owe $5,000 in taxes. You're going to jail if you can't pay for it. 500 million. And he doesn't have to pay it back. When he's got billions of dollars, he could literally pay it back. I could see if the man only had, 300 million in his pocket, paying 500 million is going to be hard. Not impossible, but hard. If he was broke, impossible. Yeah, you could say, you got to wipe that part out, but you can still go to jail. No, he's got billions. He's raked in billions from MAGA alone with stupid shit. Not alone properties and things of that nature where he's been able to purchase and be in deals with. And then you got lawyers and shit like that giving him free labor. You got ABC giving him what, 15 million. He's collected a few $1 billion just off of companies paying him for Lord God knows what. Right in front of us, we're watching a master criminal talking about he's taking crime off the streets. How, Sway? You're the criminal. How these people see this man as a person trying to stop crime when he is crime reincarnated. You look up criminal in the dictionary and it's his face. And you want to sit here and act like the crimester, the dude who does all the fucking crime. He done went from possible pedophilia based on the 13-year-old girl to grifting to taking money with his 501c3 nonprofit that's supposed to be helping kids. This fool was taking it and buying pictures of himself and placing it all over his homes and shit, using it as his personal piggy bank, to robbing places, basically saying, hey, look, this place is only worth $20 million. And then later on, when he wants to get something, it's $300 million. I want to, say what? Yeah, I want to get $300 million. So, you got to give me so much money, a loan on this house or Mar-a-Lago, because it's worth $300 million, not $25 million. Where you get that from? Well, we got it from your documentation where you said it was worth $25 million. And now you're saying it's worth $300 million. Gigantic swing, bruh. I don't know what you did. Get the bones of Jesus and lay them inside on display. That's the only way it's going to go from 25 to 300 million. He did that every year. Robbing people. Robbing. You go into a bank and take out $10,000 and don't ever pay it back and see where you end up. Committed that crime. Committed E. Jean Carroll, raping her in a Bergdorf's dressing room. The judge said it was considered rape. Even though they said sexual assault, the judge said you can consider that rape. That was him. He said it. I could say it. E. Jean Carroll. To now having crooked people in the White House bringing up fake charges to get people fired so that they could put their sycophants in who don't know what the fucking jobs are. Hell, the dude that's calling her out to say that she has done a crime of mortgage fraud, that guy don't know anything about it. He's not experienced in the job in which he has. He's never done a day of work doing what the fuck he's doing right now. So how the hell does he know anything? Inexperienced. It's fucking insane. Merit. None whatsoever. They can't spell it and act like they're the epitome of it. No, you're the complete opposite of merit. You can't have merit and have never done the job or have never done anything in its field. So this man said, Donald Trump, that he's like the champion for stopping crime. Really? So you took Ghislaine Maxwell, a mass pedophile, a woman who went out and scoped out children to harm. You took her from the prison, the maximum prison she should be in to this day, and put her in the Club Fed just because she got in front of a mic and said Donald Trump was a gentleman. Donald Trump is not a gentleman now. Everybody in they fucking mama know a man grabbing women by the pussy has never been a gentleman in his fucking life. Ever. That alone is a lie. Everything else don't make any sense. I don't even want to listen to it because I know it is complete lies. The moment I heard this trick say he was a gentleman, there's too many women, over 26, almost 30 women who've said that he's grabbed them by the vaginas, breast, and all that. One in front of Jeffrey Epstein. While Donald Trump thought that was his woman to be with, Jeffrey Epstein said, no, that's not yours, that's mine, and took Trump to another room where another girl waits for him. These two were homies on that pedo shit. You can't tell me he brought in one girl and then Donald Trump thought this one young lady was for him and he's all groping her. And instead he's like, nah, that's not for you. Yours is over here. Walks him over to another room. Look what's behind door number 2 for you, Donald Trump. That's the shit that this man is like. How many times you got to be told a snake is a snake? You just going to keep getting bit and acting like, oh, it ain't nothing. I don't know what this man has on these people other than the fact of them being enamored by racism. I don't get it. You can see right through this man. He talking about he's some kind of champion for, stopping crime because all this crap he's doing. That's not for crime. That's just a ruse to tell you it's all about crime. It's all about taking over the cities that are Democratic so that Republican people can lead from here on out. So you can change everything up and make it look like Democrat cities are doing nothing. And the thing that kills me is most of these people talking all this shit, they're in red states. They don't know shit about California. They don't know shit about Illinois. They don't know shit about these states within their country, acting like what everything that Republicans tell them is 100% true. Well, we need to take care of Chicago. Fool, you're in Idaho, you're in Indiana, you're in other states. You don't know shit about that state. All you know is about the racist bullshit somebody tells you when your own state is filled with fucking crime. Your own state filled with crime, and you want to go talk about other ones because what? They're led by Democrats, black and brown people. While white-led states, Republican and Democrat, that are in rural areas, y'all got mad crime. If anybody's going to unalive you in those particular areas, the person's going to be 100% white. And you're not afraid of your own people? Of course you are. Of course you are. If there's a crime spree in your area, you locking your doors. And 9 times out of 10, the person walking through that door to harm you is going to be a white male. If not 10 times out of 10 in some of you guys' area. But you never hear you talk about white on white crime. Do you? Because you don't want to demonize anything that looks like you. Even though the strangest demon that we've ever seen on this planet have been white people. They've eaten people. Mass alive people. That's in just this, the last 40 years, whatever. They've cut people up. They've cut babies out of women, black women. They've eaten black people. I mean, come on. How much do you need to see which one is the craziest? I ain't never heard in American history of a black person cutting a white person up and eating them. I ain't never heard that shit. It has never happened as far as we have seen in history. We have seen it happen with these crazy ass racist white people in America. We have seen kids watch strange fruit with giggles and happiness and joy in their fucking eyes. We have seen that men and women have been chopped up who have been hung, and pieces of their body lay rest as trophies in these crazy ass racist white people's homes. They took souvenirs of a black body. Tell me where you find that at in the black community. Ever. That's some sick shit, isn't it? Sick, right? So why the fuck you talk about black people when in your own culture, some of the craziest shit that's ever happened in American history, in human history, rest at the feet of racist white people's family. But you got all the smoke for black people, but no fear of your own. It isn't all over the news about how you should be scared of white people who commit crimes because they get away with it. You're more likely to get killed by a white person and that white person walks than to get harmed by a black person. How many babies go missing every year by some crazy white person snatching them up? That's a crime that's mostly by white people. Abducting people, putting them into slave trades and shit and sex trades all over the world, mostly white. It's crazy. Everybody goes nuts about every race. Donald Trump sitting here talking about putting all these police people or these military people in black states about black crime. And I'm like, yo, why don't you go out to the areas where there's a lot of white crime going on? Don't want to give that image. So that means you don't give a fuck about white kids getting killed or harmed or hurt unless it's done by somebody black or brown. That means you're not getting the majority of the people hurting white lives. You're only getting ones that make white people angry. So you're telling me that white people don't care about other white people killing them or harming them or raping them or pedophiles on them? Is that what you're telling me? Because it seems like you're only focusing on people of color harming white people. You're letting white people who harm white people go free. Which brings me back to Jeffrey Epstein. You guys let that white man continue to do what he was doing. And we still haven't gotten the Epstein files, which is going to be filled with rich white men harming white children mostly. I guess you don't care about white kids. How is it that this black man cares about these white kids that got raped and pedophiled by these men? Why is it that I care and these white men and women that are up here telling y'all lies that are in power that there's no files? I've never seen anybody. Donald Trump was a wonderful person. All that shit. All those white kids they harmed. Why is it that I care about these white kids' lives and they don't? You can't tell me they care about them, because I want y'all to know something. We keep talking about the young women who are grown right now. Okay? Grown women now that were harmed when they were babies, 13, 14-year-olds. And they didn't just stop at 13, 14. They were doing these types of things at 18, 20, 21, 22, legal age. They were doing it to everybody. Anybody can get it in their particular eyes. But I want you to understand something. These people act as if these children are safe now. Let me clarify what I'm talking about. Jeffrey Epstein died. But the children that they were seeking and gathered together and had their little Rolodex of kids that they can go and rape anytime they fucking want it. Do you think these pedophiles that harmed these kids with Jeffrey Epstein, you think this was the only game in town? Do you think that these people who have this sickness are just hanging out with grown women now? Or do you think these same people in this file are hurting young children right this fucking minute? Think about it. They did it in darkness, and now that many of their names are in these files, and Donald Trump and his minions aren't even seeking them, you think they're going to stop harming children, or they're going to feel emboldened to do more? Because they're untouchable. Think about that. Because Donald Trump's trying to defame the names of the victims, calling them liberals, and they're making stuff up and all this other shit. And I'm like, wait a minute, the victims you got smoke for. But for all the men that did it, probably you included, Trump, you're like, well, innocent people could get hurt. We can't release their names. I'm less likely to show. What? I don't know about you, but a father of a girl, right? I'm not going to sit here and think like, it may not be. I'm thinking about the innocence of them. No, their innocence will come out when it finds out that there's no videotape of them having relations with a child. This man had cameras all over his house. They weren't just to take profile pictures of people and like, oh, look who was here. They were here to catch people doing dirt so he can get paid. That's what they were there for. They felt free to do whatever they want in this realm. And that was Jeffrey Epstein's ticket out. If any of those people wanted to rat him out, I got video and footage of it. That's just common sense. He didn't have cameras in there because he just loved to fucking watch people. That was his safety net. And while he's in prison, he got all these people he could rat on. A get out of free jail card. It already happened once. With all this footage, it'll happen again easy. With all the people you know he had. Doctors, lawyers, billionaires, all kinds of shit. Heads of state. People from other countries. He could have easily gotten out of the situation he's in. That's why personally, I don't think he unalived himself. Personally. I don't know that for a fact. But he's narcissistic. His life is more important than anybody else's. A person who can go and harm any human being, let alone a defenseless child, don't give a fuck about nobody but himself. And you want to tell me he was just depressed? No. He had a stockpile of information, video, footage, everything to get him out of jail free. You can't tell me. You can't tell me this man tried to take his own life when he had opportunities. He didn't even try them. I mean, I would think he would probably took his life as a last resort. I got all this information. Shit. I'm going to try every last one of them before I talk about taking my life. If I'm cornered and not ever getting out, then yeah, but you had opportunity, all this information. Look what Ghislaine Maxwell is doing. She's using information. Now, I don't know if you guys heard of it, but I think it was on Midas Touch, where one of her cellmates has come out and said that Ghislaine Maxwell was talking to one of the inmates saying that she was going to get out of prison under Joe Biden, because she had information on Donald Trump and she was hoping that Joe Biden would take a meeting to be able to get information on Trump and basically help him win the election and get Trump behind bars because she had all this info. But Joe Biden wasn't even taking no fucking phone calls from this chick. He was following the law. You talking to my DOJ, FBI, they deal with that shit. I ain't dealing with none of it. I ain't got no time for that. It ain't part of me. Why? Because he has fucking morals. He stays within the lines. They keep on bringing up information like they'll have these pundits say, well, if there was really something going on, Joe Biden would have went after him. No, because she tried to get Joe Biden to go after him, and Joe Biden didn't do anything. His DOJ, FBI, I don't even know if they even responded to her. But if they were like Donald Trump, oh yeah. Because see, Donald Trump was trying to get fake information to make up information on Biden from Zelensky. If Joe Biden was 1/10 of the crook Donald Trump was, he would have sought out that information, and Donald Trump would probably be behind bars right now. Probably. But he's not like that. And therefore, he doesn't have that issue. But Donald Trump is trying to make it, his minions make it seem like if he was like me, without any ethics whatsoever, he should have released it to y'all if it was the truth. No, you can't use him having morals and fucking morality and letting this government work as a democracy and having each individual department being their own independent selves where the Constitution says it should be. He didn't put in sycophants. He put in people who were career people who knew how to do their fucking jobs. You're the only one putting in idiots because they can say yes to your senile ass. And that's why these people are trying to hide. I guarantee you, they're like, that dummy didn't use this information against me. Wow. He's more senile than we ever thought. No, he has morality, ethics, something you guys feel like it's a fucking disease if you had it. So they're out there hiding shit, trying to get you away from the Epstein files, Epstein documents, trying to muddy the waters. Every day something stupid coming up. I see y'all, and that's why I'm focusing on the Epstein files. I'll say it again. Epstein files. Epstein files. Where the fuck are they? Where are the documents at? Because these men and women that you guys are trying to protect are molesting, raping children right this fucking minute because you won't expose them. They know they can get away with it. What's to stop them from doing it to your children tomorrow or even tonight? When are they going to stop? They're not. They haven't been outed. If their names are out there, they're less likely. Even if they don't get charged, if their names are out there, they're less likely to fuck around. And on top of that, people in the neighborhood of these people will be watching their asses 24/7. Maybe you can save some children from getting harmed for the rest of their fucking life. But no, you don't care about that. You care about the powerful white men and women and probably people of color too who are rich. I have no doubt that that could be the possibility. But this man was hanging around uber wealthy people, mostly white men or men from other countries as well. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Arab and so forth, because he had pictures of all of them, different people. You got all these people and you're not going to put out their names because you're trying to protect pedophiles? Are you fucking kidding me? This is America. They're protecting the criminals and demonizing the victims. There is a girl right this minute being harmed by one of these pricks in that fucking document. And you're not even answering her screams, her cries. You're the one sitting there telling her to shut up and take it. These people are grown, some of these people now, grown. But they were that same kid that was crying out for help, and these pricks sat around and did nothing. Merrick Garland, I'm talking to you too, because you was the head of that department. Where the fuck were you when these kids are crying? Where the fuck were you? These names should have been out under you. I don't blame Joe Biden. That wasn't his job. It was your job. So we need to be speaking his name. Merrick Garland, where the fuck were you? It was your job. DOJ, FBI, it was your job to expose this shit. You sat on your fucking thumbs because there are people in there, I'm pretty sure, Democrat, independents. Richness does not know party. Depravity does not know party. So don't give me this, I'm a liberal, I'm a Democrat trying to protect. No, fuck all of them. These children need somebody to speak up for them. I just did and will continue to do so until these pricks actually put out the names or at least some files. We should never shut up about it. Because the more we shut up, the more children are going to be harmed. And if you don't give a fuck about children, get the fuck off my page. It's about time to say fuck you to billionaires and people of power. Fuck all you. You do not get a chance to be above the law. If you are harming children, you should be put under a jail, if not sent to death. This shit is not a game. And harming children should be the death penalty. There should be no wiggle room. The fuck you gonna hurt something harmless? Half of y'all, if you see somebody kick a dog, you're ready to fucking kill him. You got a child screaming for help, and all y'all keep saying is, oh, well, we want to release the pedophiles. No, we need to prosecute these bastards. It's an egregious act. Horrible act. And we need them behind bars. At least have their names so we can watch them so that other kids aren't harmed by them. If you don't care about kids, you are some demonic piece of shit. Defenseless. Why would they cry out and tell you what's happening? Watching what you're doing now. Grown-ass people just having like a regular-ass conversation in the news where we got to get the files. Don't just talk about the files. Talk about the kids
And quit talking about them like they're in the past. Those bastards are still hurting kids right this fucking minute. Mention that, News. Quit acting like this shit's in the past because the man's dead. It is not. He was not the only game in town for this shit. These people seeing that exorbitant amount of money, somebody has already taken his fucking place. These sick people are not fucking disappearing until you start putting their names out there. Maybe they'll leave the fucking country. But if you don't put no heat on them, the shit ain't gonna change. Talking about you care about children, Republicans, that's some bullshit. If you cared about kids, you would want these fucking names out there right the fuck now. No waiting until tomorrow and waiting until they give you some kind of, grand jury bullshit. That's your man. He told people that that's what he's gonna do when he got into office. Why the fuck aren't you protesting out in the streets? Epstein files every fucking second of your day. If you got time, get your ass out there and ask for it. Quit sitting here you guys have marched with all kinds of other shit, but you ain't got time to be marching with guns or whatever it is for fucking kids? The fuck out my face with this shit. Children. Fucking makes me mad, dog. Just makes me mad that people sit around, don't even talk about it this way. Act like, saying pedophile is just a person who harms people and kids mostly, but you're just nonchalant. Put a face to this shit. Put an action to this shit. Make it as bad as it actually is. Someone going after children. Ghislaine Maxwell undressing them, having sex with them. They should be in school, playing games and shit, dodgeball, swimming, hanging out with their girls, talking about makeup and whatever star that's cute or handsome or beautiful, whatever it may be. That's where they should be. Not in a room being forced to have sex with an ugly ass woman from Britain, whatever the fuck she is, and some weird ass dude with fucking baby teeth. And according to 13-year-old, that orange bastard that's the president. Visualize that shit and fight. Don't fucking just say pedophile. Visualize what the fucking pedophile did. And how they enjoyed it while the child cried. Think about that shit. They got their rocks off and the kid destroyed. So no, Donald Trump, you are not a champion for crime. You are a criminal. You are a deviant. And you've been accused of rape, molestation, and pedophilia. How the fuck are you anything for crime other than being a criminal? You're not trying to stop it. You're trying to hide it and protect yourself from being prosecuted for it. You're trying to stay out of prison because you're a criminal. You're not trying to stop criminals. You're supporting them. Sir, you let out 1,500 criminals on January 6th because they supported your little orange ass. Many of them got out of prison and committed more crimes. Did you know at least one of them set up a date to have sex with a child? He's back in jail. Yeah, you're helping? How? Putting them back on the street to do more crimes? You can imagine people that will break into a building like wild fucking animals, take a crap into their hands and wipe it on the wall. They left with shitty fingers. You really think those fucking apes are people that should be back on the street? It's fucking ridiculous. What is it? this world come to? What have humans come to? Were we always like this? We just didn't recognize it? Did you always have this kind of people that lived in it? Republicans, were you always like this? You just got the fuck to take your mask off because the orange prick got into office. Now you can become what you always wanted to be. Because you can't sit here and claim that you're mightier than thou, that you're a Christian, while you sit here and allow these pricks to still breathe, let alone walk around talking about doing it again to somebody. You can't put these children, you can't put your child's face on these children and get angry and fight for once. Thank you, Five on Fire, for the donation. He says, as a victim of molestation myself, my life was ruined until I went through years of therapy. Long after my deployments to Iraq, and I'm still fucked up over it. Sorry you went through that, bro. People need to fight for these people, because when they say they're in pain and these things are happening, what the fuck are we doing? We waiting for it to happen to ours? Because trust me, you don't get them off the street, it will happen to one of yours. Then it'll be too late for you to be sitting there like, well, shut up. You didn't do anything for nobody else. You waited for your child to get harmed. You could have got them off the street. You could have got them put in jail for life. You could lobby to make harming a child a offense where you can go to the chair for it. How about that? How about anytime a person harms a child sexually, as a grown person, and you get charged with it and it turns out you did do it, death penalty, instant. How about that? Maybe you can deter some of this shit. You have no problems whenever a black person or brown person does something, throwing them into fucking dog cages. But here you got a bunch of rich white men, ain't none of them gonna see jail, and they're gonna continue doing the same dirt. Because you don't value your own children's lives. While you walk around here talking about you of God, that you're a family man. Fuck you. Ain't nothing about you family. None of you Republicans ain't shit about you family. How? Every time you get in front of a mic and mention Epstein and Trump, you should be fucking pissed. But you out here giving excuses. The Republicans, when Biden was running for president, while he was still president, before he even started running again, they kept on going down this path of him having dementia. He's sickly, he's weak, he's this, he's that. Non-stop chime of something's wrong with him. When Hillary was running against him and she went up that she was loading like either a bus or a plane or whatever she was loading, I think it may have been like a truck or something like that, RV or whatever they had. She was walking up some little ramp for that. She kind of slipped. Oh, it was all over the place. I may have been a plane. They were all over the place talking about, oh, look at her. She's sick. And every little news rag had her slipping and falling. Donald Trump has done that more than once. And Democrats, you guys need to wear that shit out like they did. Give them some of their own fucking medicine. This man is so fucking senile. It's no joke. I'm not trying to make this shit up. Listen to him speak. He sounds like he had a stroke. But that's just him. He's just that stupid. The shit he says is just that stupid. It sounds like he had a stroke, but that's just his regular brain. Donald Trump today reiterated something that he said back, I believe, in January. I'm in LA when we had our fires. I want to say it's like January 25th. I might be off, but still somewhere around there. We had these fires going on, these wildfires. And Donald Trump started this weird statement about, first of all, let me just get to what happened. Our water here in like Malibu area where a lot of these things were at, in rich areas where this fire was kind of like killing out a lot of homes. It didn't just kill rich homes, but this is where it happened at. So out there's so much water, right? In these particular positions, there's so much water. This fire was one of the worst fires we've had. And it was all in this one, not all of it, but this one spot where they were using the water. Now, they didn't run out of water. The fact is that the water has so much pressure and it was using so much that it had to refill. It takes a certain time. That's just a process for it to refill itself, because it was using more than was being replaced. That's just how the system's built. There's nothing you can do about that except for find the nearest lake or near the ocean and go into that bitch and start doing whatever you can until it fills itself up. And California's been doing this for a minute. We got this game locked down. Ain't no other state can fuck with us on this. We know what the fuck we're doing. But Donald Trump had to have all this, blue states don't know what they're doing. We're not going to send them any money. That's all right. We had this, homie. Remember, California makes the money. Your states don't, bro. Florida's not making the money. New York wasn't making money like us. They still make a lot of money, don't get me wrong. So when you tried to say you weren't going to give us no money, we still handled that shit without you, didn't we? Exactly, because we got it like that. But what this orange prick did, besides trying to stop the money, he caused more problems while we was trying to solve shit. And then with his little senile ass and vindictive ass, set up this whole idea that he was the one. He even said it today. Released 2.2 billion gallons of water to help California because they had turned the spigot off. There's no spigot. This dipshit's making up shit just so that you can visualize it for dumb people. But there's no spigot that he's talking about. Turn on the spigot and I had to fight to get it done. You know what he did? It is on record that it says by what he did, if he were to get a grade for crisis management, he would have got a straight F for it. Why? Because Donald Trump, as soon as he saw that California was having a lot of problems and that water thing kind of went out, and neighbors and stuff like that in the rich area, a lot of them were Republicans, were getting all mad and shit like that. And also like the Chachi and shit, that fucker, he was saying some shit, and that's a Donald Trump person. He was saying, I'm gonna move out of California because get the fuck out. I'm glad he's gone. But he was saying shit. So they was trying their best, the Republicans that are in this state, to kind of make it seem like Gavin Newsom wasn't doing his thing, and that the mayor and also like in this country, in this state rather, wasn't doing her thing. They were trying to blame everything on them. And it's like, you know what? Our firefighters, police officers, and people who came from all over the United States, people came from Mexico and other places to help us fight this thing. We had it on lock. Donald Trump, he wimped out, but his whole game was to try and make California look bad. So he started doing shit without California asking for it, as if he was doing something good. Well, Donald Trump went out to an area. He would have known this had any of his people looked at a map. See, he brings up this story, and I'm going to let you see it here in a second, but he brings up this story where he says he let out 2.whatever million gallons of this water so that it could help the fires. Just listen to it. I'm going to give you an education, and I don't know why the news don't give you this fucking education. It drives me nuts. They're like, oh, it doesn't make any sense. He don't know what he's talking about. Explain it to people why you think he doesn't know what he's talking about. You just saying that just makes them feel like it's just your opinion. No. Tell them the facts so they can go look it up and realize how stupid and senile this fucker is, right? Let's go ahead and do it real quick. Listen to what this dipshit had to say.
But I think that's actually just an excuse. I actually think these people are sick. There's something wrong. So we send hundreds of millions of gallons of water a day into the Pacific Ocean. They turn a valve, and the valve heads out, and we turn the valve back. I actually had to do it using force. We turned the valve back, and now they have water, but not as much as they should have, because they should, and I'm telling Gavin Newsom by this conversation right now, turn the rest of the water on. Turn it on.
What in the fuck was he talking about? He didn't make sense in what he just said. He said we turned the valve on, and the valve flowed. No, water would flow once you turn the valve on, not a valve. The shit didn't make any sense. Dementia Don doesn't make any sense. Even in this statement, it makes zero sense. You can get an idea, the gist of what he's talking about. And even in the gist of saying turn on the valve and water flowed out, and then he turned off the valve, and he turned off the valve. Donald Trump did. He's asking, and he didn't say Gavin Newsom turned off the valve. He said he turned off the valve. And he's asking Gavin Newsom, hey, turn it back on. Well, Donald Trump, if you had it on already, why'd you have to turn it off? If you had the power to turn it on when they didn't ask for it, you had the power to keep it on. You see how this doesn't make sense? They don't live in logic land. They're in batshit world, cray-cray. It's planet cray-cray, this whole thing, right? So then you got to ask yourself, okay, what he just said is that he turned some valve on, he had to fight for it. There's some truth in this. But like I said, he gets an F for doing it. Well, see, what Gavin Newsom was fighting, and they were asking for help, like usually like we do from the government, because we put enough money in to be able to get help from the government, to be able to help with funds and things like that. People are losing their homes and blah, 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 just like any other disaster. Donald Trump was trying to pull that away to make California look, whack. So they're in a conversation of not giving these people money while we're in the midst of trying to fight it. So we're having to fight this prick while we're trying to fight the fire and help the people. And while fighting Republicans who were here in California that were in those richer areas, bitching and moaning because you couldn't save their home. I understand that they were upset. But reality is, how can they save your home? They saved your life and told you to get your ass out. You got out and you are alive right now. You lost your home because fires happen. They didn't set these fucking fires. They put them out like they normally do. And when it's hard to put them out, it's not their fault. It wasn't like they were out of water completely. They had a total other process to bring in water through planes and shit like that. That still was going on. They just had to have this refill itself. Well, see, Donald Trump, not knowing, I don't understand this at all. But there's a place, I want to call it Kauai. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Kaweah. That's the area, Central Valley, California. Look it on a map. The fires were in Southern California. He released water in Central California. He had his little, whatever, army type of thing go out there and release water because he was going to try and make this big story about releasing water, and Gavin Newsom needed my help. Donald Trump and his minions are complete fuck-ups. Because if you look at Central Valley and you look at Los Angeles where these fires were, it is 200 miles away. It does not connect to Los Angeles. So why in the fuck would you go and release 2.2 billion gallons of water that can never help us with the fucking fires whatsoever because they're 200 miles away? You do know less than 10, 15 miles is the fucking Pacific Ocean. Why would we go 200 miles away to bring water? That's the dumbest fucking thing you ever heard. News, why aren't you saying this? This man is talking about Central Valley. Now, we haven't even got to the fact. We haven't gotten to the fact that releasing $2.2 billion, $2.2 billion gallons of water in an area that is a flood zone where you have a lot of farmers and so forth. He caused more problems than he solved. The reason why he had to turn the water off, because it was a threat to flood the area because that area did not need that water. That was 2.2 billion gallons of water that they need, that he released, that they didn't need right now. That was saved up and stored up that he wasted. He wasted 2.2 billion gallons of water. California, we have a lot of situations in this country where it doesn't rain, in this country, in this state where it doesn't rain a lot. We have a lot of droughts, and especially for our farmers. So this man released 2.2 billion gallons of water when they didn't need it, a waste. They got to build this 2.2 billion gallons back up. And he's going around acting like, look what I did. I am so great. I am so wonderful. You are an orange dipshit, a clown. There is no reason to need that water. You wasted precious water in a state that needs water. Had there been a wildfire out in that area, there would have been 2.2 billion gallons of water lost if they needed it right now. He turned it off because he fucked up. Now, why didn't your people know that they were 200 miles away from the fire releasing this water? Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. They did know. They were just trying to paint a narrative for their dipshit people that are in their party. He was, I helped. You didn't need to help. You should have sat your ass down and took care of your fucking thick ass ankles instead of sitting here trying to act like you're a leader. You suck, sir. You suck. Your parents knew it. Your kids know it. Your grandkids know it. Barron knows it because he's just as much a dipshit as you. You can look at that kid and tell he's empty between the eyes. How can you come from a dumbass wife, your dumbass wife, and be smart? How the fuck would that happen? A dipshit and a dumb shit gonna come out with a smart shit? Nah. That's why he didn't get into the colleges that you keep fucking with. Your genes are fucked. You keep on saying I got good genes. No, you don't. Your kids come out looking like they have Down syndrome. And ain't nothing wrong with a Down syndrome kid, don't get me wrong. But he keeps on acting like my genes are this, my genes are that. No, sir. No. Your kids look like Beavis and Butthead in the face until they got their operations. All of them look just as bad as what y'all consider Tiffany. Tiffany really is the better looking one out of all of them because she didn't take the surgery. Everybody else fucking did the surgery. She kept her look. Everybody else got this fake ass shit. And as they get older, they start looking scarier and scarier. They're plastic as fuck. Go look at the pictures of when they was younger. His two sons, Junior and Eric, straight Beavis and Butthead. Don't believe me? Oh. Let me just pull up some shit because I feel like disrespecting their ass right now. Think I'm bullshit. These deviant, ugly ass kids think I'm lying. Let's see, I gotta look at the young one before the operation. Yeah, I'm this petty right now. This shit is hilarious. Let me see where they at. Beavis and Butthead. I think they got them in separate pictures. They don't have them in the same picture. Looking sick. This is one right here. This shit's funny. I gotta get this picture up. Give me a second, y'all. I ain't playing with it. I feel like being disrespectful to this family. Highly. I got time today. I got time today. And these are better looking pictures of them. They still look like Beavis and Butthead. Oh, no top lip having. Let's see. Keep this shit up for a minute too. Watch. All right. We about to have a field day with this shit. Look at Beavis and Butthead.
with their sister in between. She had already went to her transformation operation, whatever she had. But look at them. Look at them. This is the better picture of them. This is probably after they had their first couple operation. My man over here don't even have he don't have a neck. His shit goes straight like this. He's got an angled neck. Donald Trump Jr. Look at him. They don't look nothing like this anymore. Yes, sir. And these are the ones where they look a little better. There's other ones that are just, horrible compared to this. This is where they on lost weight too. But as I digress from this, I'm still pissed off that these people, I had to get that out. I had to get that out. Look at these people. They sitting here talking all this shit about everybody else. Old Beavis and Butthead looking ass. Probably disrespecting Beavis and Butthead. My bad. But let's get back to the fact that Donald Trump released all this water into an area that was going to flood if he did not turn the water off. It had nothing to do with the fire. It was a big problem that had them focused in California on Donald Trump's fuck up while they were over here trying to put out a fire. And they still handled their business. And Donald Trump is out here professing that he wants Gavin Newsom to turn on the water. Well, I'm really starting to love me some Gavin Newsom because he, right after Donald Trump had did some shit like this, he went over to Twitter and used Grok to ask some questions of Donald Trump. His shit was hilarious, y'all. I laughed so hard. When I saw it. I was like, this shit ain't real, right? This ain't real. I'm sitting there thinking it ain't real. I'm like, man, Gavin is on one. His team, man, I need that team in my life. But here we go. We about to see it. We'll read it. He put out that same video I just showed you, or one like it, and then put out this message. Grok, do people with dementia repeat false things over and over again? It says, yes, people with dementia can repeat false statements or beliefs, a behavior often linked to memory impairments and cognitive changes. This can manifest as confabulation, where they create or repeat false memories to fill gaps in recollection or preservation. God damn it, talking about where they fixate on a particular idea or statement. If I can get through that. Laughing too hard. But they're literally clowning the shit out of this man. I love it. Because again, why are you repeating shit that wasn't true? Back then when you mentioned it, it was an F up. Your people had to tell you released 2.2 billion gallons of water in an area that was about to flood that did nothing to help the fires. But instead of taking that L as he should and just shut his mouth about it, he's trying to still believe that L was somehow a win. This man is delusional. You can go look it up, but he knows his people would never read, and if they did read, they would say that it was a lie. Now, I didn't know that Rude didn't play Jan. She said he's not too good towards trans and homeless, but I do love how he trolls MAGA and Trump. I got to look that up. I don't know that much about him. I wasn't even paying attention to Gavin, to be honest, until he did this with Trump. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm starting to like this dude. I didn't even focus on him. So I will look into that, Rude. I appreciate that, because we can't have that either. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, Chuck Johnson. It says his doctors are saying that dump physical systems are getting really bad. I seen some guy online. Again, I don't take everybody until whatever happens, but I do. I'll read. I don't have a tweet, but I just started getting back on Twitter to kind of see some of this stuff that's been going on crazy. But I stay kind of silent in the corners, just listening to shit. But I saw a doctor, I think it was on TikTok, that said something to the fact, two of them actually, a male and a female, that said something to the fact of, one of them said he'll probably be gone due to his situation within the year. They gave him, another one said they gave him like 6 months to live or something like that, based on what he's going through. And then another video, they didn't say that, but they showed that his other hand has marks. So more than likely they're giving him some kind of either intravenous stuff or whatever that's causing a bruise, and it probably doing too much in one hand and doing it in the other one now, which is causing bruises and so forth. Regardless, he got great doctors, and I'm sure that are taking care of him. It is what it is. I ain't gonna miss him, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna spend my time waiting on it, because I don't want to be disappointed. It ain't gonna happen fast enough for me. So I'll just wait until it happens. Then I'll probably play the song Celebration and have a good time. Probably get a few drinks and chill out. Might go live just sitting there chilling and drinking and saying, "You good? I'm good. I'm really good." ain't gonna be no love lost, none whatsoever. Teresa says he's screwed because he don't have a wife like Reagan did. Reagan, his wife, it was stellar, because my man couldn't even remember his name. Far gone. But, his wife stuck in there. Melania taking the money and bouncing if he goes a little bit. If he just go loopy, he getting put into a home and she bouncing. She going to be with a young dude within 5 hours of leaving that fool. All right? Does it call you when it happens? Yeah, for real. I'm just going to sit and drink. I'm going to get the most expensive thing I can find. And just sip and chill. I ain't gonna probably even say nothing during the live. Just sit there and drink and just raise my eyebrow every once in a while. You feeling good? But anyway. So, so this fool made fun, and I mean fool in a funny way. Gavin Newsom made fun of his ass. And I'm loving it. I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit I would do. I would totally rip into him the same way he rips into everybody else. You kind of take the sting out of what he does. And you know how crazy this has been with Gavin Newsom going after Trump the same way that Trump goes after people. It takes the sting out. Trump can't play the same game again because it's being worn out by Gavin Newsom. And once he does, Gavin Newsom just makes another video or a post that mocks him. The joke becomes more funny and takes more of the oxygen out of the room, right? So that people started laughing at him more so than praising him. Now, Fox, what they're doing is that they're giving it life by making fun of, like, what's wrong with Gavin Newsom? Why is he doing this? What's wrong with him? I mean, it's like, you look at pathetic, man. Don't do this. This is, you're better than this. It's like, and he needs to stop this if he wants to be, taken seriously. It's like, are you mentally ill? I mean, seriously, is there something wrong with y'all? Because they're literally, and this is where, I want y'all, this is right here is the mastery of it all. He's making fun of Donald Trump. Then he's got the propaganda wing defending Donald Trump by saying all the shit that he's doing is childish and doesn't make sense and all this other shit. And by doing that, he has Fox literally saying that what Donald Trump is doing is childish and stupid. And all he has to do is sit back and say, if what I'm doing is stupid, then the person you following is stupid, right? It's genius. It is genius. He literally has these fools complaining about him and his antics. That doesn't make sense. He would do that. Why is he taking a photo with Jesus? And why is he taking a photo with this? And all you got to do is just suppose it. And Donald Trump did it first. He got them clowning him for being Donald Trump. Man, if his people were smart enough to be able to realize they being fucking gaslit times a million, it would be, it's just beautiful. Oh, we saw Piero and Waters, their emails. Is this the one you're talking about where Waters said that he was we can use what Donald Trump is doing and the ratings would shoot up, and then Piero said something to the effect of, that he wouldn't let her husband, he wouldn't give her husband not necessarily a pardon, but whatever it was called, because I think he was already out of jail, but exoneration or something like that. And she got mad that he wouldn't do it, and then finally he did it for her. Is that what you're talking about? Or is there something new I didn't see? It's hilarious. These things are hilarious to me. So what turns out, some of the most craziest things that have been happening with these Republicans who are going out and having these meetings, town hall meetings, and discussing their constituents, discussing with them like, you guys are not protecting us. Now, they try to mark it off as people being Republicans. Now, this guy's area that I'm about to show you, Representative Mark Alford, Republican in Missouri, his area in which he got voted in is a high percentage of Republicans. I mean, it's like 72, 80%, something. It may be higher than that, but those are the numbers that they mentioned that voted, right? So it's mostly Republicans in this area. So more than likely the man that's speaking, I'm going to show you, is a Republican. And I think many of them are tired of Trump shit, and they're speaking up about it. Did I get deleted? No, I didn't delete anything. I see that from Woke Mike. All right, let's get into watching Mark Alford, his constituent, light into his ass, and I'm loving every second of it.
I am pissed, and I'm pissed at you because I have emailed you because it's easier for me than to try to talk on the phone without profanity. I would appreciate you taking your father's
Right, DJ?
U.S. Constitution book, read it, study it, make your own lines underneath it, and get Trump out of office. The man is a dictator. He knows nothing about what he talks about.
Preach.
I listened to him for about a half hour today, and I got sick at all the lies he brought up. Start taxing corporations and the wealthy, like we've been telling you.
I didn't see it, Chuck Johnson.
Do you think we're
I gotta check it out.
idiots? Do you think we don't pay taxes? Do you think that we don't have to make budgets? You talk about half-truths when I listen to you. You know nothing about taking care of children because you've always had a really good-paying job. You know nothing about what a working-class citizen does. Come down here. Come down here and start trying to pay your medical insurance. Come down here and walk into Costco to try to feed your family, to feed your kid that's moved out, to feed your great-grandchildren. I had a very good job in California, and I'm able to feed my family, and it goes all the way to great-grandchildren. You're not helping me. Believe me, you're not helping me. You need to take your head out of Trump's ass and start doing your representation of us.
Speak, brother, speak. I was like, yes, yes, yes. Hit him again. Hit him again. Uppercut, uppercut, body blow, body blow. If y'all know my age, you know that's Mike Tyson knockout. But man, he was hitting all the right points. I mean, you don't know nothing about it if you're going to sit here and say what Donald Trump is doing is for the people. How can any Republican listen to Donald Trump and think that this man is leading us anywhere else but down? How do you see a way up? Seriously. I mean, these people have had to see what Project 2025 is going to lead to in order to be sitting here saying, I'm just going to let it ride. What's Project 25 going to lead to in your mind, sir? That's what they should be asking him. Sir, what is Project 2025 going to do for us. Because it's been taking our economy and wrecking it. Our trust around the world, wrecking it. The respect around the world, wrecking it. Our dollar is getting cheaper. And we don't see an upside to it. Our groceries are getting higher. We don't see an upside to it. When is this shit supposed to break to give us an upside? Because it doesn't appear there is a moment in which you're trying to preach to people that this is going to break and become better. They keep playing with the emotions of hatred. You can't look around this country right now and recognize it as a democracy. You got military people on the streets of our country actually attacking American citizens. They're not supposed to be able to do that. They're not supposed to be able to harm anybody on this soil. Military people are never supposed to do shit like this. Now, I can understand if we were having a riot like January 6th, where they're trying to destroy democracy. I can see them throwing out the military people to quell that. But you're talking about people who are just going about their lives on a regular day, and you're trying to say there's too much crime in the city. Okay, then the police can handle that. They've been doing it forever. And now all of a sudden you want to put them out on the street? These fools said something to the effect that people can go out now and eat in Washington, D.C. I went to Washington, D.C. Not recently, but I've been to Washington, D.C. And I don't know about all of it. I don't know about all of D.C. I can only tell you around the White House and a few other places. And I went to the museum out there, the Black History Museum. And I went by myself. I didn't see not one crime. They make it seem like crime was in the streets all the time. I was by myself, never thought about any type of crime, took Ubers around that spot, had a good old time, sat down and ate in restaurants, went to places, just walking by myself at night and everything. I didn't have not one incident where I felt unsafe. Now, I don't know about other areas. Every state has got unsafe shit. And ain't no fucking utopia where you're not going to have crime. I'm just saying, I did not see it personally, although I was there just a few days. But the way they say it is so rampant that I should have saw at least one crime while I was there. That's what always amazes me. I've been living in California since 1993-ish, somewhere around there. I've literally seen it since 1993 in this state, a crime that I have witnessed. I think I've seen 3. Now, I didn't see the actual crime itself. I saw the aftermath. FBI jumping out of cars that were still moving and shit. Saw that. I saw cops pulling people over. While I was in the news, I saw a lot of different things happen with crime and stuff like that, but it was never in my face. It was on the news while I was there recording and stuff like that. But me just walking down a street, since 1993, I have literally seen 3. And not saying there's no crime in this country. I'm just saying these people who are coming on here talking about politicians. Oh, my cousin got robbed and this person got robbed. The crime is just bad. I call bullshit. You must be traveling into crime areas where there are just so much poverty and you drive around in a Benzo. And it's like, everybody knows if you got any kind of common sense not to be walking down dark streets at night in a high crime area. You are going to get robbed. You might as well just say, take my shit. Better yet, take off everything you got of value and just leave it on the nearest like metal thing or whatever. Because you might as well just give it to them. Because there's no way in hell you're going to go through a poor neighborhood and act like you ain't going to get robbed. Walking around with people who don't have shit and you got fucking $100,000 on your neck or arm. Hell yeah, you get robbed. That's food to them. That's paying their rent to them. Keep your ass out of that community. You ain't got no reason to be there. We know there's crime in poorer areas and in rich areas too. Shit, rich people. Remember the actress? There's been a couple actresses that done got caught for shoplifting.
Bitch was rich. She was, I'm rich, bitch. And she was still stealing shit. She was just happy with theft, with thievery. She thought she was a fucking pirate or some shit. She was I forgot who it was. I want to say Winona or something like that, whatever her name was. I want to take somebody's name out of it. But I forgot her name. But she was stealing shit. Rich as hell. That's going to happen. So we need to stop like focusing on telling people, like putting military people in cities like you're going to stop something. You ain't going to do nothing but stop people from coming out. I challenge you to say that somebody saw the military outdoors and more people decided to come out and eat. I call bullshit. Nobody wants to go out with a bunch of people with military weapons sitting out there and be possibly shot because they think somebody out there is doing something wrong and you in the crossfire. Nobody wants to go see that. I don't care who you are. I do not want to be in an area. I know I wouldn't have went outside. Why am I going to go outside? If I don't need to go, I ain't going. And of course, crime will go down if people staying inside their homes. If criminals are like, nah, man, they got military people out there. I'm chilling for a minute, you know. We got enough stored up in the house. They ain't going to be here for nothing like 6 months. 6 months go away and they back at it. It ain't like these military going to be there 24/7 for the next 20 years. Crime's going to go back up. This is temporary. You got to create structures, strategies. And they already did. Crime has gone down like 30-something%. Nobody said crime was over. But if it's already on a downward spiral, keep doing what you're doing. Add more officers, add more whatever. Counselors, whatever was working that brought it down 32%, double and triple down on that, and you might take it down 50%. You may take it down 60%. You ain't getting rid of it. But if the strategy is working, put more money and resources in that strategy. Quit trying to add to it in the sense of, let's try whatever Donald Trump wants to try. Dude, you don't know nothing about stopping crime. You're a criminal. Criminals don't know how to stop shit. They know how to do shit, like crime. So let the people who know how to do it and have already brought it down 30-something%, give them more resources or money if you want to do anything. Instead of giving these military men and women $1.1 million a fucking day, how about you give that police department and other community organizations that have been helping with this process, how about you give them $1 million a day? I guarantee you they'll take that that 32% to 50. If you give them $1.1 million a day to do it, I guarantee you they can get it there. But you defunded them. You literally took money out of their pockets of police officers. You defunded the police and threw in military people. This man sucks, y'all. Unbelievable. Thank you, DJ. I appreciate the donation. By crime, he means the homeless people of color that can be seen close to the White House. Exactly. That's all he cares about, is getting rid of black and brown. Because if he was really talking about dealing with crime, he wouldn't even be, and he could be in Washington, D.C., but he would not just be in Democrat-led cities. He would also be in areas, in states that literally have the most crime in this country. And again, the most murdering crimes, as opposed, I mean, you want to stop, people stealing cars and all stuff like that, 100%. But when you're talking about unaliving people, that's not the highest place to go, right? So their whole thing was saying that these black and brown, or mostly brown, when they was trying to get them all in cages, they kept putting out there, these immigrants are killing and raping our women, right? Got them all scared and angry at the brown person for all the rapes that mostly white men do, all the killings that mostly in this country white men do, but they put it on Latin people who do the least of, or immigrants, Latin immigrants who do the least of doing any of those things. They barely even register as people who do this at all. Very, very low. And the people who do it the most, you ain't got no smoke for them. You got no alligator Alcatraz for them. You got it for the people who do the less, because you demonize these brown people who came here for the most part to do nothing but help their families. You know that Statue of Liberty, what y'all think it means, the immigration shit was really about slavery, but you think about immigration, bringing your tired and huddled masses and shit.
that don't mean shit. Because if it did, you wouldn't be doing this to people who come in here to have a better life. They're upset that these people, brown people, are gaining in number. And they're worried about losing power. I don't know what to tell them. First of all, it's not true that they're doing any of these things that they say they're doing. And if they want to take power or something of that nature, they learned it from you. Why don't you set a different example, and maybe they won't do something like that if they ever surpass you? Because they did the study that brown people and minorities were going to surpass white people by 2054 or some shit like that. That's what's scaring them. That's why they talk about the browning of America. And it's just nonsense. I mean, it's what they worry about. But you have yet to hear one brown or black person talk about, taking over the country. It's their fear that's in their head. And why do they fear that? Because they look at you, they look at me, black and brown people, and they think our brain is set like theirs. Our brain is not. Our brain doesn't work like that. Most black people, I can speak for all. But you can look at the history of America. Black people have never really tried to do that. So if we never tried something, why would you think we're like that? Mainly because you think we're just like you. And as far as human, 2 eyes, 2 ears, mouth, all that, we are. Heart, we can love and care, we are. But when it comes to deviousness and evil, we're not. That's not our bag. I'm not saying there's not one out there that's like this, or maybe even 100 like this. But out of the 14%, whatever, I give you a good 13.578, just made that number up, that are not like that. That little small percentage that may have that anger, the only reason they have it is because of what white people have done to them and their families. They don't have an idea of, let me take over the country. Nope, hasn't happened. We're the equality people. We're the ones that fought for equality. The reason why a lot of immigrants are in this country today is because we fought for it. We died for it. If we really wanted to take over the world or the country and be powerful over white people, do you think we would have been preaching all these years equality? I mean, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. But that's how they work, man. These racist people work in strange ways and think people are like them. We don't want to be like y'all. Trust and believe. Good people are good people no matter what. But these racist pricks, they think there's an equal of them on our side, or I don't know about brown side, I can't speak for because I didn't grow up that way. But I can say for black people, growing up around black people, we don't think nothing. The most coolest people you ever meet. Won't be thinking about anything other than just having a good life, trying to get over the hump, go from broke to being paid in some way, shape, or form, having a life, career, family. That's the majority of us. And I think that's the majority of pretty much a lot of races. It's just that you have one section that's somewhere around 30% of the white race. You probably got like 2-3% of black people, that are confused about that situation. They want to be close to white power. Those minority, because they're unified, are the only reason they have power. If we unified around us against that type of mentality, we'd win every time. Every time. Some white people, it ain't all white people. We know that. Woke Mike. We're talking about racist white people, crazy ones that are out there trying to divide people because they think they're superior. White nationalists. That's a problem. And again, the good people, we don't have that. We don't have it in us. None whatsoever. Just trying to get by, have a good time. And it's in all races, these people who are trying to get by, it's just that section. It's a small percentage. I'm saying 30%. Now, if the 70% of us can agree to disagree on some things, but fully all of us, as close as 70 we can get, agree that we love democracy, and these little 30% shits got to go with this dictator shit and this superiority crap, we could win easily. But
The only reason they win is because a small minority is unified on hate. While the majority of us are twiddling our fingers, well, it could be hate, could not be. Maybe not everybody's racist, not everybody's this, and you're all 1,500 different directions. They're over there, hate, 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 hate. All everybody, hate, hate. We got hate for everybody. Even got hate for white women. We took away their vagina rights. We hate them, hate them, hate them. It was so bad that one of them said, "Your body, my choice." How you hate women that much? And the Republican men did not, like cancel him for saying that. It's what they believe too. Hate. They're unified around it. We break that, we got a chance. We keep on just maybe, maybe not. No, we got to agree that there are forces out there. I don't care if it's mom or dad, uncle or brother in your family. You're going to have to break from that mentality and say, I'm not down for that. And if it came down to it, I'm voting against you, mom. If it came down to it, I'm voting against you, dad, uncle, brother, whatever. I'm voting against you on it because you know it's wrong. And if you don't, then sit on that side over there of hate while we sit on this side of love and respect. It's simple as that. You have to choose. We're going to choose hate or you're going to choose love. And that's the problem. We can't figure it out over here. We're split so many different directions. We need to realize democracy is the only place where we can have diversity of thought and agree to disagree. Dictatorship, you can't have a diversity of thought. You can say something like I'm saying right now, and they could possibly jail me for talking the way I'm talking. We're going in that direction. And then who's going to save us then? Who's going to try and save democracy when they're in the throes of dictatorship? Who's going to speak up? That's going to be a problem. So we need to speak up now while we still have the right. Not too busy crashing Grindr. That's what that app was. I couldn't remember the name of it. Yeah, they really were. Adam Waffen. Let me look that up. Not right now, but I'll put it up here on my notes because I'm going to finish off here. Right, Mark D? So today, another good thing happened. Did you guys see that Jack Smith finally, his lawyers, I think speaking through his lawyers, finally came out and said something because, they're trying to persecute him for doing his job. What did he do wrong? He was a special prosecutor. You know how a special prosecutor works? There's one entity, the government, which is Merrick Garland, I think it was Merrick Garland, who decides to pick somebody to carry on a case independently so that it doesn't look like the DOJ is just going after people. It's saying you handle investigation. In fact, Republicans wanted this just as much as Democrats wanted to have an independent investigation. If there's going to be one, have it independent because we don't want the Democrats just searching people out. So they got this guy who had a reputation of just being strictly toward the law. None of this like hyperbole. I'm not going to speak to the press. I'm not going to be in the press. I'm just going to say what I got to say when I find out information. Take no questions and bounce. Just, there's no shit. His shit was just straight and narrow. If he was coming after me for anything, I'd be scared shitless. Because he ain't got no problem. I ain't like I broke the law. I'm innocent as fuck of anything. But I still be scared shitless because this dude just seems like he eats, sleep, shit, everything, the case. And that's what Donald Trump and all of them were scared of, where it was going to lead to. So they had to dirty him up before he come out whatever he had to say. This campaign and propaganda. But this man did his job. And Democrats, as well as myself as a Democrat, but was upset that he dropped the case afterwards. He said, I can't do anything now. He became president. I was like, man, keep going. Couldn't do anything. I mean, it's just a note. It is not the law that says you can't charge the president. It is just some note that we don't have to abide by, but for some weird reason, we abide by it. It is not the law. They can literally charge a sitting president. But they choose not to because of this document that isn't a law. It is just a suggestion. But he got out of that situation, and Jack Smith just dropped the case and kept going, which kind of makes Donald Trump to sneak in there because of that technicality and try and say, see, they couldn't get me. You couldn't get me. I didn't do it. See, they had to drop the case. They didn't drop the case because you weren't guilty, bro. They dropped the case because of that document that says they can't charge you until you get out of office, even though it's not law. All right. So what Jack Smith came out, his legal team came out. I'm going to read it out here. This investigation is premised on a partisan complaint that suggests the ordinary operation of the criminal justice system should be disrupted by the whims of a political contest. This is what the lawyer wrote. But the notion that justice should yield to politics is antithetical to the rule of law. See, this man and his lawyer, they just speak lawyer speak, but it comes strong and forward. No emotion. Like I said, this man sticks with the law. His emotions mean nothing. He ain't saying nothing about how he pissed off or nothing. None of that. His lawyers came out with straight, basically, bro, no. What you're trying to charge me with, you're trying to tell me I should put politics over the law? It's antithetical to the rule of law. I fucks with the law, not with politics. And I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do by law. And even though the law does not tell this man that he has to stop his investigation, the law, not at all. Then a note, and I believe from the DOJ, that is not law, but he follows it anyway, says they can't do anything. So, I mean, don't get it twisted. The truth is the truth. So Donald Trump was not cleared of anything by Jack Smith. It was just let go because of some dumbass document that shouldn't be there, I believe. Now, what's up, Woke Mike? So, one more thing I'm going to talk about. Is it one? Let's see. Yeah, one more thing. I had to look this stuff up just to make sure because I saw this video right here. I don't know if you guys saw this video of Donald Trump today in that astronomically long and painful ass press conference, whatever he had in his cabinet or whatever. It was the dumbest shit on the planet. I watched like 35 seconds of that shit. I was like, and then I stopped watching and working on something. I turned around, that shit's still on. Is that like they doing like a repeat or something? No, this fool stayed on that shit like forever and ever. I'm like, man, who stayed to watch that shit? They probably had to get paid to watch it because there's no way in hell to probably watch that whole thing. But here's a segment of it where he says something, again, always trying to clear himself and make up just dramatic shit. We're going to break it down about his dramatic bullshit he says in this video. Let's get it.
You've also found many bags of information. I think they call them burn bags. They're supposed to be burned and they didn't get burned, having to do with how corrupt the 2020 election was. And when will that all come out?
Mr. President, I will be the first to brief you once we have that information collected, but you're right.
But you're right. Why bring it up if you don't already have information about it, Donald Trump? You brought up something about multiple burn bags and she has no information on it, and it make it seem like she should have had some information on it, which made her look ill-prepared, or you just plain out dumb as fuck to say it. You jumped the gun on it. And I think, again, none of us trust you as far as we could throw you. So the reality of let's deal with what a burn bag is, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Now, a burn bag, if you don't know what it is, it's just a regular bag. Sometimes it can be this thing called thermite they put inside of some of them. So just in case you do open it and try to see what's in it, it automatically destroys whatever's inside the bag. Some bags have those in them. Some of them don't. It depends. But it's highly classified or just documentation that is no longer useful, that needs to be destroyed, is put into a bag and handed over. If it's classified and something that the person who handles it can't have access to it, so it has to be somebody who can be cleared for classified information to be able to take this burn bag to get it incinerated or however they're going to destroy it, whether they shred it and turn it into dust or whatever the hell they're going to do with it, whatever process they choose to use. So in that situation, a person who has to have that clearance pick it up if it is something that is secret. Now, if it's something that's just documents that don't need to be handed out to people but not necessarily classified, that can be handled by the politician or whoever it is that works in the office. It can be handled by that assistant or somebody's assistant, where they take it to either the burn room or whatever they want to call this place, and they take this bag and it goes to a certain place and they burn it and destroy it. Now, because of climate change and things of that nature, they still call it a burn bag, but they do less of burning it anymore because of the fact of, sending up this smoke and dust and all this stuff like that, messing with the ozone layer and all that. They have become a lot better at that and being able to use other resources to destroy other than, messing with the atmosphere. But that's just the name of it because that's what they used to do back in the day, was just burn it all. So Donald Trump said that they walked into a room. This is what I did my research. And they walked into an FBI room just recently. That's quote unquote like a secret room they knew nothing about, I guess. But they didn't say that. They just said it was a room, and they walked by it and they unlocked it and they found a lot of bags of information. Now, this information turns out to be information that is useful to Donald Trump and his minions. I'm like, wow. The idea that you found a secret room roughly a little bit over like 8 months after you've been in this place, that your people searched the place and found this room 8 months later while working around this room, because since you've been in office, you've had to have had these burn bags sent to this area to be burned. But somehow somebody stored burn bags. Now, if you know about this and do any research about this, highly uncommon for any burn bag to be stored. Why is this? Because our government is more efficient than they choose to think that you and I understand. Now, MAGA dumb as fuck. They're going to think this shit's real. But the reality is this. Burn bags are not something they just hand to people and say, hey, go ahead and burn it and trust you on it. Burn bags like have receipts that it's done. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a chain of events. If I'm a senator and there's documentation that we discussed that needs to be destroyed, it's not classified or anything, but it is information that we don't need to have out there. They give it to their assistant, signs off on it, or whomever decides to come down and get it, signs off on it. That person takes it to wherever it needs to be burned, therefore it is signed off on it. It is a chain of events. They would know any of these bags as to who had them and who stored them, because the person that they handed it to is the last chain of events. Then said person is the person that was storing them. You notice how they didn't bring out said person's name who supposedly stored said burn bags. Why? Because these bitches don't exist. For me, they don't exist until they show up. And it's so strange that Donald Trump says they proved something about something that happened to him in 2020. Do you understand these burn bags would have had to have been in this secret room for 5 fucking years? Who is stupid enough to think that the only things that was saved and stored was this dipshit's information 5 fucking years later? You'd have to be the dumbest motherfucker on the planet to think that that's a reality. This man said they found information about his situation. All the years they've been doing burn bags, some dipshit stored his information. And that's it. And you don't went through this documentation instead of just burning it. Because that's what it was supposed to be. It's a burn bag. But you went through said documentation. And you're telling me that they gave you documentation. More than likely, they shredded before they put into this bag. And you got it. And this lady's going to say, well, you're right. We did find the bags, but we don't have them. Jesus Christ. If it ain't like one thing after another, you're never going to see these bags or information in these bags. Because 9 times out of 10, and I'll go out my way and say 10 times out of 10, but there's always hope. 9 times out of 10, this is straight bullshit. A distraction. That's all they do. Distract. Don't talk about Epstein. There's some new files that say I won the election. Bitch, the election is over. Whether you won or not, it is over. You back in, man. Relax. It's done. And who would keep said documents? And what documents would there be? Are you trying to tell us there's a conspiracy that they had on paper? You trying to tell me what there's votes in this bag? Because you was running around, can I need 11,700 something votes? I don't know where they're coming from, but I need them. You trying to tell me while that was happening, the bags were sitting in that secret room? Man, you stupid. Who really believes this shit? Why does the news even report? You should have turned the mic off when he said this shit. That's some of the dumbest fucking shit ever. It's like, dude, produce it and then we'll report on it. But sure, like, sad ass attempts to make shit up. I mean, it's just a senile person. You just look at him like, poor baby. Done lost his marbles. Done lost his marbles. Got to 79. Lucky. Made it to 79. But bruh, your brain did not make it past 12. Hell, that's giving him too much. Because he don't read like at a 6th grade level. Your shit didn't, well, 6 is 12. So yeah, you about 9, 10 years old in the brain. And it's only going to get worse. This man brought up his fuck up like it was a win. Fucked up and let out 2.2 billion gallons of water and tries to say it's a win. Almost flooded out an area. Opened up water 200 miles away from the fire. This dude was fucking senile back then. Why, Democrats? Why, mainstream media? Have you not said, Donald Trump, the water you released was 200 miles away from the fire. You didn't do nothing but almost flood out Central Valley. Shut up. Somebody tell this old man what the fuck he talking about. Old dude, shut up. Talk about shit that makes sense. Ask them to draw you some more pictures, you know what I'm saying? Get you some picture pages so you can understand what the fuck you talking about. Have them draw out a map. You like to have black marquee and shit. You like those little black markers. Why don't you show this dipshit where Central Valley is and where LA is, and then show them that there's no connection water-wise to either of these bitches? Why don't you just do that for him so he can shut the fuck up about something that don't make any sense? And Republicans and everybody else, why don't y'all get a fucking map and realize your guy is dingy? He's a nitwit, a dipshit. Don't know what the fuck he talking about. It's too simple. It's right in your face. This man 200 fucking miles away, and he acting like this shit would have helped anybody in LA, Southern LA. Bragging about how stupid he is. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. There was no burn bags. Not until they produce them, I won't believe it. And if there are when they show it to me, I'll renege and I say, you know what? I was wrong. But I am going to tell you right now, there ain't shit this man said that has been truth. Not in this situation. And the only somewhat truth is that he turned on some water that we didn't need in LA. But he left out that part because it turns him into a dipshit instead of this savior he's trying to turn himself into. So everybody from, if you listen, if you can hear this at all, when Donald Trump brings that up again, reporters and all that, why don't you say the water was released from Central Valley, 200 miles away from the fire? This conversation you're having only makes sense to yourself, sir. You did nothing for the fire but cause problems. Started talking about it to everybody and their mama while everybody at Gavin Newsom and people in California, Southern California, were fighting the fires. They're the ones who put out the fires. They elicited so many people from different countries for that fire. They managed it by themselves while you were a complete fuck up. So please drop it. Next. Or you don't want to be so, upfront like I am and so brazen to tell the fucking truth. You can just say, sir, that did not happen. That was in Central Valley and you almost flooded out Central Valley. So I would, not the flex you think it is, sir. You might want to stop telling that one and then ask another question. How about that? Who's going to have the cojones to say that to his face when he brings up that bullshit statement again to try and bolster his dipshittery? Who's going to do that? I'll be watching. I'll be looking. As always, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know how to support the show if you can. I thank you for the donations. I will go through and definitely say thank you to everybody who did. Dennis Petro, again, members, I appreciate y'all for coming. Much love. We had Five on Fire. I have daily knowledge of what happens to burn bags. See? He knows. Five on Fire knows. Anybody storing a bag and don't have a receipt that bag was burned would have their asses in mad trouble. But I had to research it. I'm not in the military. I had to research it, and you can find this information out. Easy. You can find out he's lying through his teeth about how this was transacted, because you can easily say Colonel Johnson was the one who last had it, and if it's still here, then Colonel Johnson, you got some explaining to do. I mean, come on. I mean, I ain't gonna say Colonel doing it, but whoever. Rooted in Planet Janet, always a pleasure. We have Mark D here. DJ, of course, appreciate you. What did Derek Ross says? It's also known on United Gangs in America on the Vice channel. Actually was on TV on Vice tonight. Adam Waffen extended version. Probably find it on. Okay, I'll check out that Adam Waffen. I saw that earlier. What's his name? B Money, what's up? I appreciate you. It said facts. There's so many people scared to speak up, even on social media. Nah, I'm not scared to speak up. Who's gonna fight for the country if we ain't gonna speak up? And like again, so mainstream media, they don't have the balls to say what we say. They literally sugarcoat everything, sensationalize stupid shit, talk about stuff. Out of a whole hour of news, they'll bring up so many damn topics that just don't make any sense, and they don't go into depth in the topic. I mean, news. Why don't you just talk about a few less things and go into depth and bring in some facts instead of just a bunch of people giving their opinions? You can bring up some facts about it instead of just one little fact here and everybody sits around and talk about it for 5 minutes. Change up the format a little, I believe. Change it up a little bit. Because again, if you're not telling facts, it's easy to call you, fake news. If you're not going into depth and get something that sticks, it's easy to call you fake news. But if you have less crap, talking 15 different topics, instead of that, give each topic 10 minutes. I don't care how long it is. Give it thorough time, and you'll be able to get people to start trusting you again, especially when they can go look it up and find out they're telling the truth. It's not just their opinion. You can have opinions, and I know in news you really can't, but we have opinions about it because we are sick of just taking people's word and they're lying through their teeth. I'd rather call them out. Thank you again. 5 on Fire said, AI is going to be massive problem soon. The whole tent city being taken down in Pennsylvania was fake as fuck. We have to spread facts. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, brother. We do have to spread facts. The more we put them out there, the better we become. Better opportunities we have to cancel this shit, because we need more voices. Thank you also. I said it earlier, but thanks again, DJ, for your donation. I think I already said Rude Interplanet Janet. I appreciate you being here. I think I said that earlier. It's a lot of the same. Trying to get everybody's name so I can give respect. I said Mark D. We're almost near the top. Oh, I didn't get thank again. 5 on Fire. If Trump passes, do you think he'll be AI for another 2 terms? They'll turn him into AI? I wouldn't doubt it. The thing about Donald Trump, he's a figurehead. There's nothing bright about him. He's really, I would say, I take that back. He's brilliant at crime. He's brilliant at crime. He speaks criminal like extraordinarily. For a man to be charged, or people have said, a 13-year-old girl said he raped her. Him telling he grabbed women by the vagina on a bus, admitted it, turned that into locker room talk, even though every man in the world has never talked like that in the locker room. And it's rumored that Melania is the one who came up with it, and it worked, for them at least. Over $500 million that he stole from a state, and they charge him, and he doesn't go to jail, and even the money gets knocked off. You look at all this shit. This man is an expert criminal. I mean, just brilliant at it. It wouldn't hurt the fact that he's a white rich man, because if he was a Latin rich man behind bars, a black rich man still behind bars, well, it took longer to get him behind bars, but he would have been behind bars. He would have been. And longer, I mean by longer than an average person, than me. If it had been me, I would have been behind bars in like a hot second. I'd be fighting behind bars. A rich black person, it's going to take longer, but they're going to go behind bars eventually. That's what I mean by that. Let me see if I got anybody else. Oh, 5 new people. Is it Takia? Welcome. Hope I got that right. Samantha's Universe, welcome. Lydia Mathis, welcome. Zachamania, welcome. Gary K, welcome. Rhonda E, welcome. Mighty Mouse, welcome. John Deff, Clancy Davis, and Brill, welcome. Thank you for that. 5 on Fire for the 10 new members. Hope you enjoy the show. We just bring facts. Right, Mark D? What does he think he is? God? Exactly. I'm going back here. And this, we're going back. We had a lot of conversation today. I appreciate it. And that pretty much was it as far as the member goes. I see everybody else, Woke Mike, Vera as well. Appreciate you guys coming through. They said that Vera was a member, just doesn't show up. Somebody said that, or like I think it was DJ who said that. But it doesn't still show up. I don't know about that. I don't know what I can do for you if that's the case, Vera. Great White Hope, Chuck Johnson. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna let y'all go and have a good night. Be safe. We'll see you guys tomorrow around the same time, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. And we'll get it in. Keep on talking about it. Keep on sharing information. Let people know what we need to do. Fight for this country and democracy. That's all we can do, is keep on fighting for it. If you love it, if you're a true patriot to this country and the people in it, because I believe more about the people being the country than any sign or flag or anything of that nature. It is the nature of the people. Our government oftentimes veers off into strange lands, but the people who support it, we the people, most of us are good, and most of us want our family to see the American dream, and we're going to have to hold this country accountable, and we're going to have to unite on that alone, turning it back into a democracy and giving everybody a chance to agree to disagree and not be under autocracy or dictatorship where we have to agree no matter what or get punished for it. You may not like everything I say, and vice versa. but you damn sure have the right to say it in this country as long as we keep it a democracy. Y'all take it easy. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Much love. I'll see you when I see you.